The other point I'd like to make also is, and I think Conrad, coming from Ireland, can probably authenticate this better than I can, is that we have the second highest corporate tax rate in the world, only exceeded by Japan. And corporations can go any place in the world. We all know that. And when you move a corporation, you move business and you move jobs. And I believe that one of the reasons for the great Irish miracle is because of low corporate tax rates. We've got to get corporate taxes down. And a lot of people say, well, that only affects big business in America. I think it affects a whole lot of businesses in America. And those are two areas where I try to focus the attention of the Congress and the American people if we're going to continue to have a competitive position. And I don't...
So, Conrad.
So thank you, Senator, and thank you, Governor, for inviting me here today. I'm really delighted to have the opportunity to be on this panel. As the Senator said, my name is Conrad Burke, and I'm an immigrant from Ireland, and I'm running a hot solar cell company here in Silicon Valley. It's somewhat ironic because I grew up 23 years in Ireland without ever seeing the sun. But I really have probably the best job in the world. And I'm living in the greatest country in the world and the greatest state in the United States. I really am blessed. My company's called Innovalight, and I'm not an environmentalist. I'm a capitalist. And my goal is to bring low-cost solar energy to the masses, to the American people, and to the global community. And this is I've put together a company of now 40 engineers, half of which are immigrants. We have a world map in our kitchen in our company with all these little points from people from all over the globe. We have half of our employees are PhDs, so we rely on very high expertise to develop the difficult things that we're developing. So my comment or my question to the Senator and to you, Governor, is that today Germany is the largest solar market in the world. Again, a country that doesn't have a lot of solar irradiance, but they've had a lot of help from government, and I know you have some strong opinions on government intervention in markets or against them. But certainly I'd like to see a little helping hand for the solar energy market to get it going and make this, because the United States can become the biggest solar market in the world, not only from using but also producing manufacturing tools and so forth. And then the last point is just on education. This year, China will produce 700,000 engineers. The United States will produce 70,000. How do we get engineering and science to become hip and cool again? And if you're elected as president, I'd like to see you, thank you, when you're elected president, I'd like you to put some good scientists and engineers on your cabinet. So,
thank you, Conrad. Could I ask, are you having increasing difficulty in getting visas for workers who you need in order to continue your dramatic growth?
It is. First and foremost, I mean, I want to employ locally, and that's my first point of source for talent. But when we do go outside to bring in talent from Germany or from Australia or wherever where solar and engineering is strong, it is difficult getting visas. There are caps in the number of H-1B visas, and I have become, in fact, an expert on immigration law over the last 2 years, so I know everything about the law at this point, but certainly we need some help there.
Does the difficulty reduce the attractiveness of working here for those workers, for what they have to, those highly skilled workers, for what they have
absolutely. To it's when there's a huge desire for engineers, very qualified engineers, educated by the taxpayers of other countries to really want to come here, and they can't because of getting the right paperwork. That's a challenge.
Go ahead. Just one more question, John. What would you like to see the government do besides making the R&D tax credit permanent?
I think that's key, but I'd also, and I don't want to take, I think Shelley's going to talk a little bit about visas, but I'd like to see an increase in the number of H-1B visas, and I'd like to see them allocated based on experience and not by lottery. I'd like to see them given to the best and brightest and bring in those talents to this country.
So could I just, maybe Conrad, since you are
yes,
what person who came to this country and could have gone most anywhere?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. In fact, maybe I can take it back to Ireland just as a reference point. I grew up in the 60s when the advent of the EEC, which became the EC, which is the European Union, and actually all of the countries of Europe were separate silos in themselves. Trade was quite difficult, and now you look at Europe, you got a free flow of goods, and jobs have been created. It's been a wonderful success. But I'm all for personally keeping global trade moving. I think protectionism is bad for America. And I think we need to focus on what the root causes are. We need to work on education, skill sets, and continue to increase those skill sets. And that's more important than putting up barriers, and I think that's the wrong direction to go.
Could I say there's a fairly good American success story right on my right here, I would say.
Well, I have to say that I'm very happy. Thank you. I'm very happy I'm not the only one with an accent up here, by the way.
The way we're going to kick off this panel is have each panelist talk a little bit about their perspective on innovation and talk a little bit about their company. But the first person who's going to start is actually the co-chair of this panel, my dear friend John Chambers, who is a dean of Silicon Valley. And we are delighted that you were able to come and help out. So I know you have a couple of thoughts, and then we're going to work our way right around the panel. So take it away, John.
Meg, thank you very much. And Governor and Senator, it's great to have you in our leadership roles in our country. If there is an example of innovation and an example of what innovation can do for the economy, it is Silicon Valley.